What I really want to talk to you all about tonight is Amazon.com. I'm sure perhaps in the midst of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday marketing craze, folks hear about this initiative from Amazon.com, the idea that they would create drone deliveries and would aspire to potentially deliver the products that you order off of Amazon.com in 30 minutes or less. For real, not a joke. Drones delivering stuff you buy on the internet. Just imagine the same technology that currently surveils people or engages in state-sanctioned assassination around the world unleashed on the retail market. Now, is it true? Is it a scam? Is it a publicity stunt? I have no idea. I was struck by what a symbol it was that there could even be a proposal for Amazon.com to deliver cheap, disposable plastic stuff with mechanized drones. Because it's a symbol of one possible future, a future that we're bombarded with a great deal. A future that's really a continuation and an acceleration of the present. A future of instant gratification, of unchecked consumerism for all those who can afford it, of course. And it's a future where we don't ask where do the products come from. We don't ask who are the workers that made these products and what kind of conditions were they made in. We don't ask what are the environmental impacts of this product or the health impacts on the communities where the resources were pulled from. Because that story doesn't let us connect the dots about the real consequences, right? It just sort of stays in this level of a story. Because the fantasy of personal delivery drones represents a perfect example of the story of denial that shapes so much of our political discourse, and I'm sure that so many of us here in the room are busy organizing against. Unfortunately, the story of denial isn't just a story, it's a whole strategy. And it's backed by powerful institutions, it's backed by million-dollar public relations budgets. And whether it's Amazon or the Koch brothers or Walmart, we all know that the money will flow. The campaign contributions, the ads, the lobbying fees, that if Amazon.com decides that they want to have delivery drones, well, they're going to have to unleash the lobbyists, And all part of the tragedy of legalized bribery known as our current US electoral system. But fortunately, that's only one possible future, right? And we all know that this time that we live in can and will be a turning point to a very different type of future. And a really inspiring example of this is a newly launched Climate Justice Alliance and the Our Power campaign. This ambitious alliance unites nearly 40 communities impacted by fossil fuels and impacted by the extraction economy, coming together to not just continue the work they've done for generations to fight against contamination and poison and environmental racism, but also to innovate community models of a just transition towards renewable energy, towards relocalized democratic economies. But the story of denial, even when it gets as outlandish as personal delivery drones, is still very, very strong. Because part of where it pulls its power from is its supposed inevitability. It's just another version of the classic control mythology, eloquently named by my least favorite former British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, eloquently named Tina. There is no alternative. Now we know that's not true. And in fact, I was doing a training in London a few years ago, and we were analyzing the Tina narrative. How does it work? How can we challenge it? How can we break it down? And one of the participants brought the room to a thunderous applause by jumping up and reciting a poem by the Afro-Caribbean poet Dorothea Smart. The poem's title says it all.
Killing Tina, embracing taboo. There are billions of options that we don't listen to, never get to hear, never see, never make it past the cynical fascism of Daily Mail headlines, out the mouth of a CNN correspondent propped up in a hotel bar, miles away from the action.
There are billions of options. And all of us in this room and the communities that we represent and the movements we're part of are constantly working, building those options. But in order to change the system, we have to change the story. But it takes more than just telling our stories. It takes a strategy for our ideas and actions to resonate beyond the choir and reshape the public conversation. So story-based strategy about making our stories and those many possible better futures inviting, compelling, and unignorable.